Well, welcome. This is the third and final part of our series on the future of GIS. We started with the early stages of GIS yesterday. In the second video, we looked at today. In this one, part 3, we're going to look at tomorrow. So, I'm going to call tomorrow the rise of automation. And we're really talking about moving from manual processes to automated processes. So what does that journey look like? There's elements here that we spoke about in the last video. Miniaturized sensors and data collection have advanced our ability to automate the data collection process. That's huge volumes of data, highly accurate data. Advances in processing analysis through AI and machine learning have meant that we can automatically process that data and analyze that data. Again, a human no longer has the ability to work through all of that data we're now collecting. And the one thing I'll throw into this one is blockchain, and I'll provide a very good use case for blockchain. So the value proposition. Today we live in a world where, and yesterday we lived in a world where we buy, assemble and cook. And the classic GIS scenario is we have a problem, we go look for data, we use desktop technology or increasingly web technology to process and analyze that data, and then we arrive at a result, which historically has been a map. Increasingly, that's a varied output. So we're moving now to a ready-to-eat situation. And those that are looking at the video, the first picture is a guy assembling a pizza, and the second picture is an already prepared, cooked, ready-to-eat pizza. I kind of like that analogy. So, use case. Actually, that says use case 1. I'm actually going to show you 2 use cases. Let's start gently. One of the areas I work in at Critigen is with the integration, spatial integration of GIS, particularly ArcGIS, with other business systems such as SAP. So we've actually built a product called 𝐆𝐴𝐴, and 𝐆𝐴𝐴 is a field workers product, works on mobile tablets, which allows folks to go out there and essentially do EAM tasks, asset management tasks. So what can happen within this workflow is somebody in the field can find a problem. They can automatically, through SAP, send a message in which generates a work order. That work order information is texted to someone who is in the area, who has the skills to complete the task in hand. Let's imagine it's a valve that's broken, or an area that's a water main that's flooded, a gas main problem. So a text is sent to someone in the right place with the right skills, with a work order attached, and that person goes out immediately. So there is an automated workflow. It was manually started, but we've worked through to being an automated process where the guy on the other end who has to react receives things through a system, through an automated process. Let's look at another example. I mentioned in the last video some satellite technology called SAR, which is radar, and ICIA, particularly in that space. There's a number of others. So what some of these satellite companies are now doing is not only collecting their radar data in this case, but they're aggregating data. They're taking other data sets that are particularly focused around a problem. Again, in the last example I used flooding, so there's weather data. There's a whole slew of other data sets that can be combined with that SAR data, and we use an artificial intelligence, machine learning is used to do all of that aggregation and processing of that data. The results of that is we've automated the monitoring prediction process. So we're not only using algorithms and data to do predictions around flooding, but we're also monitoring on an ongoing basis areas that are likely to flood, particularly risk areas. So again, that whole process is automated. What comes out of that process is the ability to take action, whether that be monitoring and an event alert, or whether it be a prediction which causes a utility, some infrastructure company to react very quickly to that event. So there are 2 examples of increasing complexity, if you like, within this world of automation. Let's go to a more complex example. We're going to jump into the blockchain. So let's talk about insurance. So we have a family. The traditional way that families, my family, get insurance is we go through a particular brand. There's a well-known brand that you'll know from adverts. A somewhat annoying brand, actually, I should say, because their adverts are constantly being thrown at people. Sorry about that. No offense meant. So we go to an insurance company. We agree a contract. So we get an insurance policy from those guys. When an event happens, your house gets hit is flooded, your roof gets hit by a lightning strike, you put in a claim. You call the insurance company and put in a claim. Now that insurance company either accepts or rejects that claim. Now, one thing so there is a laborious, time-consuming, people-involved process with lots of paperwork and, most importantly, an insurance policy which has all sorts of small print in it. I've been more than once rejected by an insurance policy which I missed some small print on. Not a perfect system from a consumer perspective, pretty good from the insurance company's perspective often. Let's look at a different scenario. So the same family decides that they're going to use a hybrid smart contract, which is part of the blockchain world. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything about smart contracts or hybrid smart contracts or the blockchain or crypto. I do believe it's important that you find out more about that world. And incidentally, Chainlink is a company you might want to look at that do these hybrid smart contracts. So just a hint for those that want to dig deeper. A hybrid smart contract is essentially a computer program, an algorithm, which is automatically triggered based on an agreement that you have with that contract. Again, not going to go into the details. A hybrid smart contract is actually an extension of a smart contract in that it does event tracking. And a good example of this would be a weather event. So let's imagine that we want a smart contract, a hybrid smart contract, which says if the temperature goes below 0 degrees and 2 inches of snow are on the ground in Salt Lake City, around my house, for example, I want that payout. So what that hybrid smart contract does is it actually connects to a location service in this particular instance. So a location service provides, and actually there are services that are out there that do this. They're tracking weather information. They've got sensors on the ground. So there is a continual process in place over the lifetime of that contract that says, are we 0 degrees? Are we 2 inches of snow on the ground? Should that notification come back from the location service that state has been arrived at, then the policy is triggered and paid. I move very quickly forward on that. Think about what I just said there. Where was the locational component to that? There are location services which will be developed leveraging GIS and geospatial technologies, which will provide a slew of information, real-time information to those hybrid contracts. So I wanted to finish with some closing thoughts, and it's simply this: get ready. Tomorrow will be soon here. I'm going to say that again. Get ready. Tomorrow will soon be today. That's a much better way of putting it. So if you're in a position where your organization is slow in moving forward, if you've got so-called antibodies that are resistant to change, be aware of the fact that others are going to have to change and you're going to have to change with them, or else you've got a problem moving forward. And some of these things I'm talking about tomorrow are arriving today. And if you dive into the world of crypto and smart contracts and hybrid smart contracts, those are being built now. Are we at a stage where they're going to be implemented fully? No. How far down the road is that? It could be 10 years, it could be 5 years, it could be 2 years. 2 years is not very far away. So what I'm saying here is the process of GIS's movement forward and the automation of processes is changing our world. It's changing how we do business. It's changing how we interact with our world. It's changing how we see our world. We're digitizing our world. We're recreating our world in computers. Our whole economy is changing, and at the heart of that, will be location data and geospatial. So I encourage you to reflect on where we've been, where we are and where we're going, and to take action to be prepared for a future which is just around the corner. So I'm Matt Sheehan. I'm matt.sheehan@crittagin.com. That's how you can reach me. You can also find me at @GeoMattSheehan in social media. You've seen 3 videos. I'd love your thoughts on all of them. If you agree, if you disagree, if you want to throw new things into the mix that I haven't thought about, that I can include in other videos, we'd welcome all of that. And as ever, thanks for watching.